It's on News 9 tonight. News 9.
Good evening, everyone. This is the news, and what a difference 4 years of public life makes. Mayor William Crabbe of Steubenville in 1971 was the minority mayor, winning by just a fraction over the 40% of the vote. Now he is the big winner. By almost a 4-to-1 margin, he walked away with yesterday's election for mayor in Steubenville, and he told our Red Donley today that he feels that this is a public mandate for a continuation of his policy as well as his plans.
Well, the priorities will be almost the same. The top one's efficient government and producing these surpluses so as we can continue to give cost of living and raises that are deserved, and to move projects on that we haven't had, and to, I think, improve our recreation and our senior citizen activities have to be worked on, and just so many things. You know, we do have the urban development money coming, and we're going to work those projects into our plans. And we've got a lot of things we're planning. I'd like to see this train station museum move, and the Fort Steuben tourist site move, and we've got a lot of things. We've got to put a lot of pressure on Columbus, on this bridge and this bypass.
One very obvious effect of the election was that the mayor's strongest opponents in the city council turned out to be some of the biggest losers. Mike Dekas failed in his challenge to unseat Crabbe as mayor, and Stanley Paprocki was defeated in his bid for president of city council.
The incumbents did fairly well in yesterday's election, but not straight across the board. In fact, Steubenville has a brand new president of city council. He's Dr. John Carrigg, head of the history department at the College of Steubenville. He defeated Stanley Paprocki for that office by 309 votes. Now, currently, Paprocki is a councilman at large. Now, Carrigg was a council member for 8 years, but he's been away from the political arena for the past 6 years, and he said he was mildly surprised at his victory.
Somewhat, Red. I realize that I've been out of circulation for 8 years, and my opponent was a strong at-large vote-getter, and so I felt that if I won, it would be sort of an upset and somewhat of a surprise, and but I was always hoping for the best.
Do you feel you'll have to be an arbiter between the city council and the administration?
Well, I think I'll be able to get along quite nicely with the mayor. We have a very good relationship now, and so I don't anticipate any problems. I hope that the council meetings, though, will be conducted in a very orderly and rational manner, and I expect to request this of the council members.
The present council president, Peter McCafferty, declined to run for another term. Gerald DiLoretto, Bill Heineman, and Vincent Lopresto won election as councilman at large, and winning election as councilman last night were Julius Ravasio in the 1st Ward, Richard Perkins in the 2nd, Coleman Mullins in the 4th, Dominic Tedeschi and Andrew Burnaby were also winners in those races, and William Paul was unopposed in his bid in the 3rd Ward.
One big defeat came about yesterday. Actually, 4 big defeats. Those 4 proposed constitutional amendments by Governor Rhodes in the state of Ohio. They really went down, and Rhodes says that the problem with the fiscal crisis in New York City played a part in it, too. The 4 economic measures would have been the largest economic bonding ever going before voters. $4.5 billion is what he was proposing. But Rhodes says he is not going to give up right now. He's going to try and use legislative action to piece together his broken program.
City officials in Oxford, Ohio, say that they're going to have to ignore one measure that was passed by voters there yesterday. That's a largely college community town, and they approved a measure which would set the penalty for possession of less than 4 ounces of marijuana at a $5 fine. And the county prosecutor says that measure is unconstitutional, and he's going to oppose it.
Well, even as the Ohio politics dies down just a little bit, in West Virginia things are starting to kick up now. J. Rockefeller IV, the Democratic gubernatorial candidate, has signed 2 political experts to help him with his campaign, John Martillo and Joseph Napolitan. They are organizers as well as experts in how to use the media, and they are his newest staff members.
Now that the elections are over, another old issue is coming back up, and it looks like next week the Colcon Consortium is going to announce where they're going to locate their proposed $327 million experimental plant, which is designed to get gas of various sorts from coal. Now, 8 sites are still under consideration, and Joe Kennedy at the Steubenville Chamber of Commerce feels that Jefferson County is just about out of the running for that site now, but we should have a good chance at a second facility when it's built.
About all I know, I guess, is what I read in the papers and hear on the radio and TV. Each one of the states, their development directors seem to have come through recently and said, well, we know we're going to get it, or we've got an inside shot at it or something, and they really have no idea, because the Colcon people have been absolutely tight-lipped in this, and I'll be truthful, we haven't heard a word from them, not a syllable, in 3 months.
As Kennedy says, those Colcon officials have kept their secret very well. There have been no leaks as to where the plant will go. However, some observers keeping an eye on the scene feel that Armstrong County, Pennsylvania is leading the race.
In West Virginia, one thing is certain about coal, and that is that production is down. One man says there are a lot of reasons to blame for all of that. He is Ben Lusk, president of the state Surface Mining and Reclamation Association. Lusk is blaming wildcat strikes, the Clean Air Act, and government safety standards. He says all of those are factors in cutting down the production, and also, as he puts it, putting West Virginia at a competitive disadvantage with other states. In Weirton, West Virginia, the protest over sewer rates continues, and we'll have that story when News 9 goes on.
It's Brody's big 44th anniversary furniture sale.
Hi, we're the Brody Boys. No, you're not seeing double. I'm Herb. I'm Sid. We don't want to give you any double talk, but we're doubly excited about Brody's 44th anniversary furniture sale going on right now at our 2 fine stores in Canonsburg and Steubenville. Come into either store, and with a purchase of $79.95 or more, you'll receive a fantastic bonus, a Decorator 4-piece console set for just $2.99. Smart shoppers say that Brody sets the trend for style and bargains. Hey, you Brody boy, now you said a mouthful.
Life on the farm, fresh as can be, running through the meadow, just you and me. Digging in the garden, hiding in the hay, swinging on the porch like the good old days.
Bob Evans Farm sausage is made with all the hams and tenderloins included. You'll agree it's the best sausage you ever tasted, or Bob will give you your money back. That's the kind of farmer he is.
Bob Evans, down on the farm.
Now you can borrow up to $1,200 cash by phone or mail. Roberts, the money people, offers you the $1,200 confidential loan. No personal interviews, no collateral, no cosigners, no red tape. When your request is approved, you receive your money quickly and confidentially. You need not even leave home. Write or call Roberts in the Honey Building in Weirton for no obligation details. 233-3100. Roberts, the money people. Roberts, the money people.
In Weirton, residents are continuing their fight over those proposed rate hikes for sewer service. They've organized a protest group, and they're going to fight the proposal that was issued by Mayor Mike Andachik. It nearly doubles the sewer rates. Andachik says the rates have to be raised because the federal government has ordered Weirton to build a new sewage treatment plant. Of course, the federal government also gave the matching funds for that plant. The mayor says the big rate increase is the only way to come up with the matching funds, but the protesting residents say if the federal government wants that plant, they should pay for it.
The protesters feel that since you were able to buy this city, or get this city building, all on federal funds, why can't you do that with the sewage plant?
Well, that's a completely different program, John, and we have certain guidelines we have to follow with federal revenue sharing. You can spend revenue sharing for capital improvements like a city building, recreation, police, and fire, but you cannot take federal monies and use it as a portion towards another federal grant, and this would be illegal in a case of a secondary treatment plant.
So then there's no other way to get that money but to raise the rates?
No, sir.
Well, the residents in Weirton don't really go along with that. They're circulating petitions right now to stop that rate increase for sewer service. Andachik says the proposal is still going to go through, probably at the next council meeting.
Wheeling police still aren't sure tonight who 2 of their officers shot and killed last night following an alleged burglary attempt. Police Chief Harry Bruno says the victim was shot after he fired at the 2 officers and ran off down an alley. With much of the transportation throughout the Wheeling area crippled by the current bus strike, there's a lot of talk about alternative plans, and one such plan would be the merger of Wheeling Rapid Transit and Cooperative Transit. But at this point, that's only talk. Until then, Union Local 103 is planning to stand fast on those picket lines.
Do you think the men are as enthusiastic now as when they first started the strike?
Yes, I do.
What about a merger? There's been talk of a merger. How does this fit into your plan?
We're very much interested in a merger. The local here and the international union. We're very much interested in a merger, and that's the only way the two companies are going to survive, is through a merger.
How long do you plan to stay out here?
Until such a time that they can offer enough money or make other arrangements.
Now, another merger isn't necessarily the only way out. Another alternative plan was hinted at Monday during the meeting of the Eastern Ohio Mayors Association. That plan would initiate a brand new regional transit authority.
Hard times may be coming for workers in West Virginia and the Highway Department because they may be facing layoffs in the spring. The Highway Commissioner, William Ritchie, told the legislature that he would lay off as many as 5,000 workers if he doesn't get more maintenance money, and he's talking to the tune right now of $13 million. The legislators say they don't like Ritchie's threats, and they probably won't approve any more money. Meanwhile, a group claiming to represent a majority of Highway Department employees wants recognition for their collective bargaining unit. 3 West Virginia public employees groups are all seeking a pay hike right now, and as well as civil service status, and they want to have it for all of the highway workers.
There's a very good chance right now that the city of Wheeling could soon have the first dog racing track in the entire state of West Virginia located at Wheeling Downs. That dog racing bill now is on Governor Moore's desk, and Wheeling citizens are already beginning to show a little bit of excitement. Today, News 9 took its cameras to the streets of Wheeling, and as always, there were mixed reactions on the good and bad points of dog racing.
Because I just don't approve of dogs racing. Sorry for horses, but I don't think dogs should.
I think it's a good idea. It's nothing wrong with it.
Oh, I'm all for it.
You plan to go there?
Oh, yes.
About how often do you plan to go?
Oh, as often as I can.
I think it's all right. People like to bet the dogs the same way as the horses.
Well, I think if people enjoy going to see it, they should legalize it.
If that bill is legalized, the people of Wheeling Downs could be ready to go with dog racing by April.
Well, all it takes on that bill is the governor's signature, and that is also what's holding up a lot of enthusiasm on the part of teachers in West Virginia, because they can look forward to that long-awaited pay hike. The bill granting them a $700 a year pay raise cleared the House unanimously today. It went through this afternoon. It has gone to Governor Arch Moore, and he is expected to sign it. Coming up, a look at some Middle East developments as well as stocks, so stay where you are.
I know my own needs, and what I need from an automobile, I know I get from this new Cordova. For me, there is nothing beyond Cordova's tasteful appearance. Nothing beyond the luxury of seats available in rich crushed velour. It is surprising the affordability of this small Chrysler. Cordova has what I need.
For the past couple of winters, the gas companies have been asking us to turn down the thermostats in our homes to conserve natural gas. I'm Frank Blair. I'm an old newsman, and I'm naturally inquisitive. I wanted to know if conservation is effective. So I asked some people who know. I was heartened to learn that concerned Americans saved millions of cubic feet of natural gas last winter by turning down their home heat a few degrees. Well, that's important this winter, too, because the natural gas we don't use in our homes is available to industry, hungry for clean energy to keep going and keep people working. And as American industry goes, so goes our nation's economy. Conserving natural gas at home with better insulation and using less heat helps save jobs. It also helps on your gas bill.
It's time again for Cove Valley's annual fall sale, and that means winter is approaching fast. Come in and compare prices. We have fabulous savings through the month of November to prepare your home for the cold months ahead, with factory fresh fiberglass insulation and insulation building board. To further increase heat retention in your home, Cove Valley has a large selection of quality paneling plus all accessories. At Cove Valley, you save on all prices and later on your heating bill. Open an easy charge account. Plenty of free parking at Cove Valley, 240 Cove Road in Weirton.
The United States and Egypt have agreed in principle to the sale of 2 nuclear reactors. Secretary of State Kissinger and Egyptian Foreign Minister Ismail Fahmy initialed the agreement this afternoon. Negotiations are now underway to finish up that $1.25 billion sale. Meanwhile, Egyptian President Anwar Sadat urged a joint session of Congress today to help the Palestinians form a nation of their own. Sadat says the United States is practically the only dissenter in the trend to establishing contacts with the Palestinians.
The Industrial Payroll Savings Committee is designed to push the use of savings bonds as a savings tool, and today it got a new chairman for its 1976 campaign. George Stinson, already chairman of National Steel, is going to lead that campaign. Treasury Secretary William Simon made that announcement today in Washington. Stinson served this year as the industry chairman, steel industry chairman, for that same campaign. Prices on the New York Stock Exchange went right up today. They advanced broadly, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average all by itself gaining better than 6 points. Trading picked up as well after a rather sluggish 2 days at the head of the week. Analysts credit the gain on investor hopes once again that New York will avoid default next week. But those same analysts note that the city could still go under before December 1st. A very confusing situation, and what it ultimately does is probably going to decide what the year-end trend will be for the stock exchange and the nation and the universe.
I'm getting into Red Downley's area right now, checking out the weather map. Snow already in the northeast.
Just some snow showers, but it won't accumulate to too much.
Let's take bets on when it's going to snow.
We ought to do that.
Well,
3 ways, right here.
Take bets when it's going to snow.
Oh, you know, that's one of the most popular polls that newspapers have run for many years.
I will say the first snow will fall on Thanksgiving night.
Brett, give me your guess.
November 17th.
I'll take it 2 days after Thanksgiving. All right?
What's the date on that? That's nebulous.
29th, somewhere around there.
We got
Saturday.
Okay.
I'll take Wednesday. You're taking Saturday.
Right. Okay. All the guesswork is over. We'll guess what the weather is coming up next.
The Ohio Mining and Reclamation Association is responsible for restoring surface mined areas to useful and ecologically balanced land. To do this, the association has, to date, planted more than 76 million trees right here in Ohio. The need for mining coal in the United States is vital, and with these great efforts to restore the land, we each gain a better living environment. The Ohio Mining and Reclamation Association is planning for the future.
M&M Hardware and Zenith, 2 names you can depend on.
This Zenith Color TV gives you a lot. The Chromacolor picture is bright and sharp. To keep it that way for years, the tuner is electronic and the chassis is solid state with a voltage regulator to protect components. Zenith gives you a lot of TV for your money.
M&M Hardware at 4148 Sunset Boulevard is your Zenith dealer in Stubenville.
The air quality, but it still remains unsatisfactory. Today's API, the air quality index, is now at 105, and that's in the unsatisfactory category. We won't have any snow around here with temperatures that have existed this week. Right now, again, they range from 65 through 69 up to 71 degrees, cities here in the tri-state area. Some cloud cover is moving in, mainly from the north, and it will be a little cool this evening, but way above the normal temperatures we have at this time of the year. Let's take a look at our statistics for the past 24 hours. Our high was 74, a low of 55. Normally on this date, the high is only around 48 with a low of about 33. We had a record high of 85 in 1948, a record low 21 in 1957. Present temperature is 69, humidity 16%, winds out of the northwest at 4 to 6 miles an hour. That barometer 29.42 is falling. We've had no precipitation. And if you want to find the quietest, most lonely place in town, go to a city park like Beatty Park. Playground's empty, just some beautiful trees and scenery and no one around. Well, we're under the influence of a high pressure over Kentucky and southern West Virginia that is moving a little bit toward the Atlantic coast at the present time. The snow showers intermingled with some rain late this afternoon in northern New England, all because of northwesterly winds coming down in that direction. We're getting some of it too. This is the front that is just to the north of us. Now, by late tomorrow, there is a possibility as that front drives down southward in the wind direction, we could have some showers late tomorrow afternoon or evening. A lot of rain activity in the southern Mississippi Valley and in southern Florida. And again, all throughout the Mississippi Valley, heavy fog today, heavy haze, rain that was welcomed in Missouri and Kansas, Arkansas, in some areas that haven't had rain for quite some time. Otherwise, sunny skies all the way to the west coast except Washington, where they had some intermittent showers today. That was in the state of Washington. Now let's look at our forecast for today, and a couple of youngsters who are wondering what it's all about. Anyhow, they were playing out in the sunshine after school. Partly cloudy is the forecast for tonight, a low of 49 degrees. We expect late tomorrow perhaps some showers, a chance of that, a high of 69, a low of 42. Then Friday, fair and warm, again way above the seasonal norm, a high of 72, a low of 50. Saturday fair, a high of 71, a low of 47. Sunday fair and cool, a high of 66 and a low of 38. We throw the cool in there because it might get down 5 degrees on the high temperature that particular day. But it's been that kind of week, Indian summer all the way. And
good day for a parade in Pittsburgh.
They had one too, didn't they?
They sure did. It was kind of just like July. It was incredible. Barring any major upsets, the 4 playoff teams are set for the West Virginia High School football playoffs, at least in AAA. The first 4 valuable spots are held by Buchanan Upshur, Parkersburg South, Charleston, and South Charleston. In the AA top 10, Sarita Canova is again first, with Doddridge next. Huntington Vincent is third, with Sherman right behind. And in Class A, regionally, Wirt County, Hamlin, and Reesville look like the playoff teams there. The only area team to be ranked in West Virginia is Payton City. They've now fallen to 10th. It should be very, very interesting around the National Football League for the next couple of weeks because a federal court judge in St. Paul, Minnesota today has ruled that players not bound by World Football League contracts can sign with teams in the NFL by November 26th. You may recall NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle had ruled last month that no players in the WFL could sign with the National Football League. Our News 9 Offensive Player of the Week is next on News 9.
The McCook House in Carrollton was built by Major Daniel McCook in 1837. 4 of the 15 fighting McCooks of Civil War fame were born here. Since 1946, the house has been open to the public as a Civil War museum. The McCook family items are displayed on the first floor along with Civil War memorabilia. And the second floor contains articles of historical interest from Carroll County and for traveling exhibits.
This bicentennial remembrance was sponsored by the First National Bank in Stubenville.
Year-end sale prices on all home improvements. Savings to 20% and more. Payments only pennies a day on anything you need done. No money down. Call Captain Crumb now during their great year-end savings sale on all home remodeling work.
In Steubenville, 2829773. And for East Liverpool, 3851720.
Frankfurters, hamburger, meatloaf. Saving money by serving plain meat? Then make the meal not so plain with Betty Crocker scallop potatoes. Tender slices of russet potatoes in a velvety smooth white sauce. Or this golden brown hash brown with just a touch of mild sweet onion. Or au gratin. And now sour cream and chive to plain meat potatoes from Betty Crocker.
The shape of tomorrow is here. Rabbit. Dasher. Scirocco. After 5 years of intensive research and design, Volkswagen has created 3 cars so new that the rest of the world will be trying to copy them for years to come. Tomorrow is at your Volkswagen dealers today.
Pro football running backs shoot for the coveted 1,000-yard mark every year, but it's more difficult for high school runners since at the most they only have 10 games to do it. Wintersville's Doug West hasn't had any trouble as he has again rushed for over the 1,000-yard mark for the 2nd year in a row. The junior speedster rambled for 217 yards last weekend in just 3 quarters of play, carrying the ball 29 times. Thus, he's our News 9 Offensive Player of the Week. A running back has to have holes to be effective, and Doug told our Red Donnelly today who's responsible for his success.
The line and my 2 blocking backs, without them, I couldn't have made it.
Now, how do you stay away from injuries? You've had a pretty good health record.
Well, I just try not to get myself in a situation where I could get hurt. And this seems to work pretty well.
Got a big game with East Liverpool, a ranked team coming up. How do you look at that one?
Well, it's going to be tough, but if the line blocks and I get the 2 blocking backs to block like they did, everything will be all right.
And Doug has 1,144 yards on the season thus far through 9 games. It's 20 yards better than Jeff Konjerski of Caddis for the leading rusher in the Valley. Konjerski finished second in the voting for our Offensive Player of the Week, while Keith Jones of Woodsfield was next, with Jefferson Union's Dave Rawson fourth. While East Liverpool is still licking its wounds from Saturday's upset defeat to Youngstown Cheney, another team which might have made it to the Ohio State playoffs if it wasn't for a loss is Bel Air High School. The Big Reds are ranked second in AA Region 7, with the defeat to North Canton Hoover a few weeks ago the only blemish on their record. And Bel Air coach Jake Olzowski says it's hard not to look back at that game and wish you had it back.
Well, definitely, if we would have won the ball game, we would have picked up a considerable amount of points in the computer ratings in our region, because they're a AAA team, plus the fact that they've been undefeated since then, and we were undefeated up till then, and we region would be first if we would have beaten them.
And Bel Air will wind up the season at home on Saturday afternoon as they will host Youngstown Ray. If there was any doubt about the popularity of Bob Prince and Nellie King, there shouldn't be now. An estimated crowd of 150,000 fans jammed into downtown Pittsburgh today for a parade in the honor of the former Pirate broadcasters who were fired last week. Bob and Nellie addressed the crowd at Point State Park, and the way it looks, they are getting more and more support every day. It's
150,000.
It is incredible. People are just, they're going bananas. They really are. Why are you laughing?
I just think it's incredible that you have a turnout like that.
That's the power of Bob Prince. I think a lot of people...
I guess 28 years broadcasting the same teams.
Exactly. I think people say that, a lot of them said it won't be the same. They just can't find themselves listening to Pirate baseball.
Nothing is ever the same.
That's for sure.
We'll be back in just a moment.
For years, people have loved good, fresh milk. And now there's something new. Nutrish. Delicious milk with something special added. A natural culture that can prove beneficial in aiding the digestive system. Nutrish tastes good, costs about the same, and has all the nutrition and lower caloric content of low-fat milk. Look for Nutrish in its new red and white carton. Tell them Caroline sent you.
This Garvin's dairy product is available in leading grocery stores. Look for it where you shop.
There are parts of America you can only scout if you come in here. Your International Harvester Dealer showroom. The rugged Scout Terra, just the right size. A 6-foot bed, plus 11 cubic feet of in-cab storage space. You can get a 4-cylinder engine and selective 4-wheel drive. Come in for a test drive.
Scout the America, others pass by.
See your yellow pages under trucks or automobiles for your local International Harvester Dealer.
Well, if you want to go and kill yourself, it may cost you a little more in the future. The American Cancer Society has come up with a different kind of plan. It's urging the government right now to enact laws to force the cigarette industry to produce only low-tar and low-nicotine cigarettes. Apparently those warnings on each individual package have not been enough, and the Society is also suggesting a new series of taxes, progressive taxes, and they want them levied on each package of cigarettes based on the levels of tar and nicotine that you might find inside.
Some interesting figures on education came out today. It seems that while more students are enrolling in West Virginia colleges, many fewer now seem to be staying to get their 4-year degrees. Figures released today by the State Board of Regents show that the number of bachelor's degrees being granted is dropping significantly every year. However, associate degrees, which take only 2 years to earn, are being awarded in higher numbers than ever before.
Well, people complain about the soap operas on television. They say they move slow like molasses. Maybe that's one of the reasons is getting the axe on CBS. Things moving at a snap. Have to take Charlie for the past, and her creator said that she's finally going to get married. Brenda's creator, Dale Messick, says that Brenda will marry her elusive mystery man, Basil St. John, on the 15th of January. However, in your Sunday papers, there will not be any cake. What's next for Brenda Starr? Wait and see what the new year has in store for you. Thank you very much for joining us. The Cronkite is next. We'll be back at 11.